All right, let's just do it before it rains. Okay, so a lot of my clients have problems. They're confused in relationships because they're listening to the words of their partner. They're trying to understand them. The majority of my clients who do that are women, but men do that too. So they try to understand their partner, and a lot of times it is because if they understand their partner, they are less likely to lose them because they can figure them out and trying to make them love them and trying to not lose them, which is already very bad for your mental health because you're reacting to another person. You're reacting to thoughts in your brain about another person, which you think another person is like. Now the problem here is that you're listening to the words of another person. The words don't have a lot of weight. They are not important. Actions have way more importance than words, but we don't even want to make it about that. Look, people have patterns. People are not conscious. They're identified with their thoughts and their emotions, so they are reactive to their patterns. They will use words, their vocabulary, to fulfill their patterns. Also, their patterns in the relationship, which means, let's say they have a fear of losing you. They will use their words, their motives, their intentions in a way to not lose you. So they're not necessarily being honest, or you have to figure them out by their words, if that makes sense. So what you actually want to do is stop being reactive because you're spending time inside of your head on all the ideas. You think you can figure out the perfect puzzle piece of the person. And if you do that, you think you can make the relationship amazing, which is still being reactive, which is still chasing validation. And if you chase validation, guess what your brain's doing? If you chase validation, the brain's like, hey, it seems like you love chasing validation. I want to support you in chasing more validation, which means I'm going to give you more thoughts of not being good enough, more thoughts of doubt, more thoughts of insecurity, so you can do more of your favorite pattern, which is chasing validation. So by you actually constantly focusing on what are they saying, what are they thinking, you're creating more thoughts, more emotions with the brain because you are spending time on it. Your brain's just giving you so much more craziness, so many more thoughts. And what I want you to know is the thoughts are coming in like, oh, do they still love me? I need to understand them more. What did they say last week? What did they say yesterday? And if you are talking back, the brain's like, oh, you still love those thoughts. You still love those things. That's why mindfulness is so important. But if you're still spending time on it, the brain's just giving you more and more, and it's going to drive you crazy. I promise you that. So instead of being reactive to the emotions and thoughts, to trying to figure out your partner, trying to understand them, which is not helpful. You will understand them based on actions. A lot of times, the more time you spend with them, it started raining, okay. You will understand your partner, trust me, but the more time you spend with them. But the better you understand them is based on, do you know what you care about in relationships? That's a big question you want to ask yourself. What do I care about in a relationship? What do I want to spend my partner, like time with my partner on? Do I want loyal partnership, respectful partnership, honesty? But those values, don't just focus on them, focus on the actions underneath. The values by itself don't mean anything if there's no actions underneath that's supporting them. Let me give you an example. When I was a child and my dad said, I'll pick you up in 5 minutes, he was there in 5 minutes. I'll pick you up in 30 minutes, he was there in 30 minutes. I'll pick you up in an hour, he was there in an hour. Fuck. That was scary. So what did he show me with that? He showed me that he's on time, that he's loyal, that he's honest, that he cares about me with his actions. But anybody can say anything. They can say that they're honest, they can say that they're loyal, they can say that they care about you, but if they don't show it with actions, it doesn't mean anything. But you shouldn't even be reactive, like trying to analyze, oh, are they doing the actions all the time? It will automatically happen, but the important part here is you want to change from being reactive to being proactive. You want to ask, and that's only if you know about yourself and write things down on paper, because your brain can always trick you of what do you care about in the relationship, what do you want to spend your time on, what do you care about in someone else doing, and what do you want to give to yourself, and what do you want to give to another person. Ask yourself those questions. What do you want? And you want to make it based on activities. You want to make it based on someone's actions and your own actions. What actions of love do you want to do for your partner? What actions of love do you want your partner to do? And it's not something like, I want them to reassure me. Reassurance is a compulsion. I want to make them my feelings feel better of insecurity. That's a problem, because that's a compulsion, and that will actually create more insecurity. So forget about that. And I made a video about that on TikTok and Instagram. There was maybe 60%, 70% of people completely understood it's a compulsion. I mean, everybody in behavioral therapy knows that it's bad for your mental health, but the 30% of relationship warriors that are in my comments were like, oh no, your reassurance is so important. Yeah, because you want you just want to make the feeling feel better. But making the feeling feel better and getting that relief is actually bad for you, because your brain's like, oh, you just got happy? You just got happy? How did you get happy? Oh, I know. I gave you a feeling of insecurity, and you asked your boyfriend to give you reassurance, and he made you happy. So, he didn't make you happy. It gave you a sense of relief. Now, your brain's like, oh, I always want you to be happy. So the way to make you happy with the process, the relief, is I have to give you more insecurity. So you're creating an addiction. So you don't want to make it about, oh, feelings, how they make you feel, etc. You want to make it about actions, okay? A connection is given. Like, you know when you have a connection to someone. So you want to make it about valued actions. What do you want to spend your time on with your partner? And if you then go through the valued actions and you still spend time in your head on, oh, are they loving me, doubt, you're still doing compulsion. So that's why mindfulness is so important, okay? But the thing that drives you crazy is to trying to understand the words, what are they saying? Human beings they have patterns, they have motives. They're going to use their language in a way to get the things they want, even if it's a lot of times unconsciously. They don't have to blatantly lie. They just use their language based on their fears and based on what they think is cool, or based on, and it doesn't mean that that's them. And then later on in the relationship, when you guys are more trusting, you can do these valued actions together. You can talk together. What do we want to grow? And I'll give you some examples. If you're a gym girl, you probably would love your boyfriend to be a gym, and you guys go to the gym together, right? That's a valued actions. Traveling together, hiking together, spending time maybe on projects together, building a business together. Of course, intimacy is also valued actions, and that's also should be aligned. Like if someone only wants to have sex like once a week, but the other person wants to have sex 3-4 times a week, it's not compatible unless it's not as important for the person who wants 4 times a week. You want to know, what do you care about? And then you have a playbook that you can play against those things. Plus you have a playbook that you can talk to your partner about, and they talk to you about, what do we can grow together? What do we want to spend time together, okay? Yes, of course, there's compromise in it, right? But it's growing the garden of relationships is spending time together mindfully, and not spending time together hot and cold games, and because that's emotional addiction. That's going to give you emotional entertainment. It's going to be a toxic relationship. It's not going to work out. Or if you stay, it's even worse if you stay, because it's going to be toxic, and can be painful, hurt, abuse, all those things. But that's an emotional addiction. And that's based on people trying to do hot and cold games, making their partner jealous. I'm going to give the key points now to take away. Stop spending time in your head trying to figure out the other person. Ask yourself, what do I care about in a relationship? And stop engaging with the thoughts and the emotions, which creates just more thoughts and emotions and more craziness and more puzzle pieces, cause burnout and everything. And bring your focus back to, what do you want to grow? What do you want to grow in your relationships? What do you want to grow in your life? What do you want to grow with your family and friends, relaxation, creative expression, family and friends relationships, romantic relationships, and fun. Do you want to go build another business? Do you want to make TikTok videos? Do you want to podcast? You cannot be losing yourself just in a relationship. And I have clients who I help right now to stop losing themselves in a relationship and building a life for themselves so they can feel the value for themselves. So by doing valued actions, in the beginning it's going to feel wrong because they're still addicted to the patterns of the emotional addicted relationship. But by growing valued actions, even if they don't feel like in the beginning, they're creating more self-worth. All right? So I hope you enjoyed the video. I'm going to do more videos, and I'll see you guys soon.